Hello and welcome to the Kotlin tutorial. We're going to be actually making a program. So instead of going over anything specifically, we're actually going to use what we've learned so far into making our own program. So let's go ahead and make a shopping, like a shopping center app. A little game here. Let's start off. So we're going to need to make it so that the user can enter into the game and then exit the game when they'd like to. We're also going to make sure that the user can add items to their list and then can display those items when they are finished shopping. So let's go ahead and get started. So if we're going to make a while loop, we need to create a condition. So we can say still playing as our boolean, and that's going to equal just default to true. So while we are still playing, we are going to actually, even before we start into the loop, we need a sort of a welcome message. So we can say something like, "Welcome to the shopping center. Um, what would you like to buy?" Okay. What would you like to buy? And now we are in the game. So now we're actually going to learn how to read user input. So we're just going to create a variable and we're going to call it purchased item. And that's going to be equal to readline. All right, and so that allows us to actually input some information. Okay. So then we need to actually create a list as well. So we can create a variable, we'll call it my items, and we'll have it equal an array list, an empty array list, and it's going to be a list of strings. So the data type for this array list is going to be string, and then we are going to have it equal an empty array list object. Okay, so now we can add this here purchased item to my items. So we can just say add purchased item. And so now, if you take a look, it's saying that it's requiring a string, but it found a string question mark. So essentially saying it's like, hey, we need to know for sure this is a string, but we're not quite sure if the one you gave us is a string or not, or if there's anything in there at all. So we need to essentially guarantee that there is a string in there because it's requiring that there is a string in there. So the best way to do this is to check if it's null. But what we can do for now is, and we'll actually go into this a lot more in depth in a future video regarding optionals and force unwrapping, but we're actually going to do what's called force unwrap this one. So we're going to add 2 exclamation points saying, no, regardless, this needs to be added to the array list. Danger of doing that is if it is null, it will crash the application. But no matter what it is saying, whatever the value is, just give it to me and add it to this array list. So, okay, so we got our purchase item added to our array list. And now what we're going to do is we're going to let the user know, let the user know that they actually entered something. So you bought, and then we can use string concatenation. This purchase item, would you like to buy more? And so now what we can do is we can actually make an if statement. And in this if statement, we can say if actually, we need to, since this is a question, we need to get the user input again. So far, we can say continue playing. And that'll equal read line as well. Okay, so if continue playing equals no, then we need to say, all right, print line, and we need to actually display our items. So we're just going to say here are, pardon, we're just going to say here are your items. And in the next line, we're going to, we need to display each item in our array. So how would we do this? Well, based on the last video, we can just say my items. And since we're only going through, we're only just looking at each item. We're not doing anything crazy. So the best one, in my opinion, would be to use for each, and we can just say print, oops, excuse me, there we go. We can just say print line and add in it. So the item that it is currently iterating over, we're just going to have it displayed here. So we'll say print line, thanks for playing. All right, and then we can say is still playing equal to false. However, if the user entered something other than no, let's add some white space here to make this a little more readable. And we can actually change these into values since we're not doing anything with them. Okay. All right. So else we can say print line. What else would you like to buy? All right, and then after this hits, since we're still in the while loop and since still playing in our case is true, what else would you like to buy? It will go into read line, and then it'll add the item into our array of items, and it will continue. So let's give it a shot. See what we got here. Welcome to the shopping center. What would you like to buy? Let's buy some eggs. You bought eggs. Would you like to buy more? Yes. Would you like to buy dank memes? You bought dank memes. Would you like to buy more? No. Whoops. No. All right, here are your items. Eggs, dank memes. Thanks for playing. Okay. So here we have an application that that allows us to enter in the items that we'd like to buy, and then it also displays the item, and then we can actually exit this program at any time. So we were able to do that with using if-else. We were able to create variables. We were able to use our while loop. We were also able to use a for loop, and we were able to learn about user input as well. So, and we're able to create a list, an array, and add items to the array as we go along. So this was actually a lot of fun, and I look forward. We're actually going to go into a bit more organizational aspects of writing code. So essentially what we could do is we could have all of our code in this one function technically and be fine, except it would be absolutely atrocious to read and it would be very difficult to maintain. And it would be very bad. So what we are going to learn next is organizing our code to make it more readable and to make it a lot easier to add new features, etc. So we're actually going to learn about functions. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one, and thanks for watching.